Hola mi gente, it's me Kat. Welcome back to Kat and Too Many Books. So I filmed this yesterday, this exact video, this tag, but I was super sick. I'm still sick, but I was like so sick. I looked awful, like scary awful. And I was kind of a bit of a mess because I was just not completely there. I really wanted to get it filmed before Tuesday so I could get it up on Tuesday. And I'm going to film it now on Tuesday and work really hard to get it up at some point today. I'll give you, I'm going to roll, Bonnie, be careful, babe. I'm going to roll clips of what I looked like yesterday with some cute clips of the dogs because the dogs kind of came into the frame for a little bit so you could see. So I'm going to insert that here. Oh, hi. You want to say hello before I start? Oh, my good girl. Hi, baby. It's okay. I'll be done soon. Say hi, Bonnie. Say Bonnie. Say hello. Hello. Oh, be careful. You want to stay here with Mom? No, you don't. Hello, you. Hi. Yes, Sissy got down. You say hi, soy. You gonna say hello? Oh, what a good boy. All right. Oh my goodness, you're gonna stay here too? Oh, tell them all I'm a beautiful boy. Look at me. Good boy, Sawyer. Good job. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so not great. So I decided to scrap that whole video because honestly, I just wasn't making the best sense. Not feeling great. I still don't feel good, but I feel a little bit better. My voice is actually a little bit better. I think I have strep throat. That's a completely different thing. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what I'm doing. And I'm really enjoying these tags that I'm seeing everywhere. So I want to kind of join in on the Tuesday tag. So I went looking for some tags and I found one from a few years ago. I don't know if anybody still does these, but it's called the April Showers book tag. I think it was, I found it was maybe around 2018. And I found that it was created by Sabrina from Beyond the Book Reviews and Alexis from Mad for Books Love. I'm not sure if it was ever a like vlog tag, but there's definitely a blog tag. So I liked it. I really enjoyed it. April's coming up. I thought, why not do it? Let me go ahead and get started. And the first, I'm gonna drink something. Hold on. That's really hot. All right. So let me just go ahead and get started with it. The first prompt is share a book with water on the cover. So I chose Why We Swim by Bonnie Sue. I read this a couple of years ago for the Asian Pacific Islander month, February. I think it was a few years ago. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. Bonnie Sue talks about sort of why swimming is so important and integral, specifically to her. She swims a lot, but she cut it into, or divided it into 5 sections. So it's divided into 5 reasons. It's survival, well-being, community, competition, and flow. And she talks about each different one. There are like narratives from other people who are swimmers. She talks about the history of swimming, sort of the importance of swimming in all its different aspects. Great book. If you love nonfiction, please pick it up. I literally just wanted to read a book by an Asian author and picked this up and I loved it. I was so surprised how much I enjoyed it. So, good book. The next prompt is, what's a classic novel you'd like to curl up on the couch with? I'm going to slow down my talking a little to see if it helps. So I chose 2. First is Daddy Longlegs by Jean Webster. It's one of my favorite classics. It's not a super well-known classic. It's known, I think, but just not super well. It's the story of an orphan young woman named Judy, who is reaching her 18th birthday and is coming to the end of the ability to stay at the orphanage where she grew up. She's been working there for a couple of years after finishing her high school, and one of the trustees from, or she's just finishing up high school, one of the trustees from the orphanage takes an interest in her and thinks she's really smart and has good grades, so he wants to send her to college. All he asks in return is that she write him a letter, just letting him know how she's doing in school, like her grades and what classes she's taking and so forth. And so she begins a correspondence with this man. She names him Daddy Longlegs because she got a glimpse of him as he walked away, and his shadow looked like a Daddy Longlegs. And because he was very tall. Anyway, so she just starts a correspondence with it, but a one-sided. He doesn't ever respond. But she's just so charming and funny and effusive and lovely, and I enjoy Judy so much as a character. She's one of my favorites, and she reminds me a lot of like Jo from Little Women, and another character that I'm gonna talk about in just a minute. And it's just about her life and what she learns, and a little bit of the relationships that she creates, and it's great. I love it. It's done. It's epistolatory, so it's done in the letters. Obviously, it's written in letters, so you can see all the little letters. There's tiny little bits of illustration in here. I enjoy it. I love it. If you've never picked it up, I highly recommend it. The next one, again, is, I said I had two classics. This is the other one I love, and that is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I adore Anne. And this is the other character I said reminds me, but like Judy is so charming and effusive and lovely and kind and funny and just smart as Anne. And I'm not gonna go into what Anne is about, obviously. Again, another orphan. But and if you don't know, she's an orphan that goes to live with a brother and a sister on a farm called Green Gables, and it's just about everyday life and her growing up, and it's beautiful and I love it, and it's literally one of the best comfort reads, and it's a great one to curl up on the couch with. Next one I have is Share a Scary Book You Would Read During a Rainstorm. I chose A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I recently read this. It's become like one of my favorites to have read. It's a really great horror book. It's genuinely scary, but it's also got like a humorous tone to it. Like the characters are really funny. The humor doesn't necessarily alleviate the horror. Makes the horror a little more pronounced, but it makes you connect with the characters a lot more, because you get to know them so well, and their personalities are so kind of likable. So this is a story about a woman. She's oh my gosh, so she's an anthropologist of sorts, but of bugs, basically, an archaeologist, but of bugs. So she studies bugs found in digs, and she goes home after one of her digs is canceled, partly because she has nowhere else to go, but also because her older brother called her and said the mother's acting weird. When she gets there, the mother is acting very strange. The house looks like it used to look like when their grandmother was around, and she doesn't understand what's going on, and she starts to figure out that there's something weird going on in the house, and her mom's acting the way she is for a specific reason. So good. I really enjoyed this. So I highly recommend it, especially on a rainy day. All right. The next prompt, which is I think prompt number 4, is what's a good book rec for rainy days? I have 2. I'm doing 2s a lot, aren't I? The first one is Nevermind, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is a middle grade novel that I love. If you have a bit of a empty space left in your heart and soul for from the inability to really enjoy a middle grade novel we all love so much, this was a lovely sort of balm for that. It's about a girl named Morgan, and she is called a cursed child. Like, she's supposed to bring bad luck. Her family treats her terribly, and she's been prophesied to die at 11, because apparently cursed children die at 11 years old, which is horrifying. And but on her 11th birthday, a man shows up Jupiter. Mandy and Jupiter shows up and whisks her away to another place, and so she goes to Nevermore, and he wants to put her in this competition to help her get into like a school, to help her with her like abilities, because she has abilities she doesn't realize she does. And it's just all about her going through all these different trials to get into the school and like meeting new friends. There's a fantastic cat in there. Look how giant. Look, I love that cat. Yeah, it's wonderful. She needs to get into the Wondrous Society, and there's like a school for that she can go into, and it's just, I don't know, it was lovely and fun, and I really enjoyed it. So this is a good one for a rainy day. It's pretty big, but it's it is, you know, it's a kid's book. It's a middle grade book, so it's pretty easy to read, and you could just get into it all day. And the next one that I recommend is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is my favorite. This is part of my favorite fantasy series ever. This one right here, The Winter Night Trilogy by Catherine Arden. This is the first book in the trilogy. You meet Vasya, who is 15-year-old. She's 15 years old at the time the book begins. She lives in a very small village in Russia, and it's sort of about her family, and they're very sort of like lovely and close, and then her mom passes away, and things kind of get sad, and her dad ends up marrying another woman who's a very religious and devout woman who doesn't believe in like any of the pagan beliefs that Vasya and like their village sort of believes in. So she's like determined to do away with all of their rituals and all of the beliefs that they have. And Vasya is very magically inclined. She can see all of these like creatures and like some demons, others just like creatures that are fantastical, who really help out the village. And it's just such, it's beautiful. I love her. She faces so many trials and tribulations. She's I don't even know what to say other than it's a great book to read. It's about 314 pages long, so it's a good one to just sit down on a rainy day and get your way through it. It really, really brings you in, and you just, I have such love for Vasya. And if you are someone who likes an audiobook, I highly, highly recommend the audiobook. The narrator of this series was fantastic, and I loved. It's probably one of my favorite audiobooks as well. So this is a good one for a rainy day. The next question is, what two characters would you like to spend a rainy day with? Two characters. So the first one I would like to say is Adam Dalgliesh from P.D. James's Adam Dalgliesh series. He's a DI who's also a poet, who's also kind of hilarious and also staunch and like a little grumpy, but I love him, and I would just love to sit with him on a rainy day, have some tea, let him read some of his poetry to me, and just talk about his most fascinating cases. I would love it. He's my second favorite detective. I mean, my first obviously being Sherlock Holmes. The next one that I have, and I'm going to take a sip of my hot beverage here. My I Love Lucy mug. All right. This next one, I would love to spend a rainy day with this character, and that would be Crowley. There he is. Look at him. From Good Omens by Neil Gaiman. I love Crowley so much. I love Crowley so much. He's like one of my favorites. He's hilarious. He's sarcastic. He's terrible, but he's wonderful. He literally just wants to be left alone. He don't want to take part in anything. He doesn't care about any war between heaven and hell, and he just would like to stay on earth and be left alone, please. And I get that. I relate, friend. I relate. So I would love it. I mean, imagine the chaos that could ensue if you spent a rainy day with Crowley. So, or Crowley. I don't know how you all say it. Some people say Crowley. Some people say Crowley. Whatever floats your boat. All right, the next one is share a book that has blue on the cover. This is one of my recent favorites, The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I love this book. If you haven't read it, Linus is a lovely, endearing character. Arthur and the children are lovely, endearing characters. This is like, wow, this is like being put in like in a warm blanket. I don't even know. It's like warm blanket, warm drink. Just a lovely, 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 lovely book. And obviously beautiful cover. Adore the cover. The next question says, what book has a rainy setting at some point? And I would assume most books have a rainy setting at some point. But I decided to pick Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is my collector's edition. If you don't know, I very much highly love and adore Red, White, and Royal Blue. I love it. And there is a pivotal scene that takes place in the rain. Like, or it's raining when this pivotal scene takes place. And like somebody is drenched and there's like stuff happening. I don't want to say what it is, because if you haven't read it, I don't want to give it away, because it's just such a wonderful scene and I love it so much. And it's generally like one of my favorite scenes, and it takes place while it is raining. So there you go. The next question is, what book would you not mind using as an umbrella? Now, I take my drink again. I don't normally keep any books that I don't like. I don't bother. If I don't like a book, I'll like pay it forward, because I mean, I've already got so many books, I don't have enough shelf space to keep any I don't like. However, if it happens that a book in a series that I ultimately like the series more than I hated the book, if that happens, I might keep the book. So that's my choice. I'm going to say for this one prompt, I would say scene. Can't see it very well. Hold on a second. Let me change it over here. I would say Scene Red by Frank Bador is my pick here. Let me put this down here. Okay. So this is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. Let's see if I can get a better look. And it's a 3-part book. It's a 3-part series. I loved the first book. I genuinely disliked the second book, and I liked the third book, thank gosh. So the finale was, the conclusion was good. I hated some of the characters introduced in this one. I found them to be really annoying, and they were paired up with like one of my favorite characters, so it was worse. I really disliked Alice's sort of characterization in this one as opposed to the first and the last one. Yeah, there was just a lot that was going on in it that I was like, about. It's a middle book, so it was a lot of plot too, trying to get us from the first book to the third book. So that sometimes can be trying. But yeah, I didn't particularly like this book, but I kept it because of the series. But I would use it as an umbrella if need be. All right, so next one I have, which character would you like to share an umbrella with? Now, I have a few. Why do I keep doing that? All right. I would share an umbrella with Marco and Celia from the Night Circus. They conveniently have umbrellas. So I would share their umbrella. And I would share it to watch them be the incredible ship and wondrous couple that they are. That's it. I would just be there to look at them with hard eyes and be like, I love you both so much. And then the other one would be Evelyn Hugo from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If I didn't say, I'm going to say it real quick. This is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. If you have not read this book, please do so. All right, again, Evelyn Hugo, because I love her. I love her. It may not be okay. Some people may not like her. Some people may not particularly appreciate her as a character. I think that she was exactly the kind of character she was supposed to be. But I loved her. I love problematic characters. Sue me. I really do. Especially if I can understand why they are the way they are. Well, I don't always love problematic characters. I love her in general. And then, let's not get into it. Love her. Would absolutely share an umbrella with her anytime she would want me to. because she's my bisexual queen and I freaking love her. Okay. Stopping there. The last question is share a novel with a dry beginning but amazing ending. And it actually took me a minute to think about one because I was like, if a novel has a dry beginning, I tend to maybe like DNF it. I don't always. Excuse me. I don't ever, to be fair, really read something that's sort of dry and not entertaining. But that is a lie, because when I thought long and hard, I was like, oh yes, there is a book that had a dry beginning but an amazing ending that I love and I kept and I obviously read, and that is the first of the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, guys, as much as we love this, it's dry as heck, this writing, especially at the beginning. There's just a lot of walking and talking and eating and stopping and more walking and talking and eating and fighting a little bit and then talk. It's just so tedious a bit until we like meet Strider, ended up going to the elves and get our mission, and like Gandalf kind of, shows up, and then it all goes awry and crazy and amazing and whatever. But the beginning can be very dry, and I think some people might even find the rest of it dry writing. I don't. I think the beginning, though, is slow and a bit dry, so this was my pick. And, yep, that was it. Those were the prompts. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I'm so happy I found it. If anyone wants to do this tag, please feel free. And I have a few people I would love to hear the answers to here, so I'm just going to put your names in my little tag here and just sort of tag you at the bottom. I'm not going to say the names in the video. And if you feel like doing this, please do. I would love to hear your answers. If you don't, that's okay. I totally understand. If anybody watching would like to do this, please do. If you like this, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment. Tell me what your answers might be to any of these questions in the comments. If you liked the answers or disagreed with some of my answers, please let me know. And I hope to talk to you guys very, very soon. You guys have a great week. Bye.